Is it obvious that this is diluting orange and not Genius? Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday night, and that means it's Doddie Aid Live. Welcome. My name's Bruce Aitchison. I'm your host, and I am very excited because it has been a hell of a week. We are only 11 days in, and it has been crazy, bonkers, mental. How good. You people are swamping social media. I cannot keep up. Mr. Social Media cannot keep up. I am struggling with the amount that you people are generating. It is absolutely off the hook. Keep it going. Whether it's a mile, whether it's hanging your washing, whether it's all that crazy stuff that Gregor Miller's doing running around Clackmannanshire upsetting folk, please keep it going. Swimming, cycling, paddle boarding, walking. The dogs are getting so much exercise. The dogs are loving January. Please keep it going. It is outstanding. And there are so many amazing events on the horizon. So much coming up. But what would you do on a Wednesday night for Doddie Live? We would bring in an absolute hero. I love this guy. And it took so long to meet him because we met over things like this when we weren't allowed to meet in person. And he used to live just up the road, and now he's lived closer to my mother. So good luck with that one, Davy boy. But what an ambassador for this fight against MND. If you've not seen his movie yet, you will once you've heard from him, because you will want more. Please welcome the one and the only, the magnificent Davy Jouve. Hello, Davy.
Good evening, Bruce. Lovely to see you.
You are an absolute master. It's been a wee while since we've seen each other. What's going on? How are you?
You're looking good for it. I think have you lost weight? Have you been doing some running?
I've been doing some running, but it's amazing what perception will do. People now believe everything they see on social media, and they think he posts a lot about running, which means he must have lost weight. But actually, because I still like pies and chocolate and we've just had Christmas, no. But I like that you gave me that compliment. Thank you, Davy. I'm figuring Davy's Wi-Fi is not off to a great start. Jev, are you there?
I'm here, Bruce. Sorry, I think there was
that's all right. It's all right. I was boring myself. I was boring myself. Lots of people pretend their Wi-Fi is not working when I'm speaking to them in person, Davy. So please don't worry. How are you? How's Davy?
Very well, thanks, Bruce. I'm very well, thanks. Thank you for such a colourful introduction to joining you this evening. I'm very well. You know, we're 11 days into Doddie Aid 3.0 in its third year, and what a Doddie Aid it's been so far. It's again, the social media is impossible to keep up. Everyone logging their miles, walking their dog, doing the Duke. It's been amazing to see. But I feel well. I was well rested over the Christmas period, but I'm feeling a little bit fitter after Doddie Aiding for 11 days now.
Nice. Now, a lot of people, whenever they ask me about you, they always refer to you snowboarding in your budgie smugglers. You've become known as the budgie smuggling snowboarder, which is pretty cool, I reckon.
It was good. I mean, it's funny. I'm still planning. I want to do my third year. How do I up a backflip in bungee smugglers on my snowboard? I think there's only one option really you can do this year. So watch this space. But it was a great thing.
Are you going streaking along Princess Street?
It might have to be.
Okay.
Some casual nudity might be able to be involved. But the story behind the bungee smuggling backflip was, you know, it was Doddie Aid. The first Doddie Aid, and then I think it was the 1st of January. The Glasgow captain Kelly, he walks in, buff as you like, straight into Loch Lomond through the ice, and just sits there in the icy water. And I'm thinking, I'm captain of Team Edinburgh. I need to lead the charge here. What am I going to do to up Kelly Brown? And I was like, I know what I'm going to do. Grab my snowboard, head up Hill End, and do a backflip in some borrowed bungee smugglers, because I didn't own a pair at the time. So that was the story behind that one.
I love that. It was very cool. Now I thought I saw you on Boxing Day. I was out for a run. I was being made to earn my day 2 of Turkey, and I was out for a run. And this guy's walking towards me, but I thought it was Davy, and actually it was your twin brother Tommy. And the look of fear in his eyes was something that I'll never forget. Now, recently you've got a I don't know. Do we call it a documentary? Do we call it a movie? What do we call it? And I watched it and I loved it. And hated it in equal measure, if you get what I mean. You spoke amazingly, your family spoke amazingly, your friends. It was a spectacular, uplifting, inspiring thing. And your brother played a big part in that. What was that like? What was that journey like? That movie, that expedition you took part on? To explain that to us.
Thanks, Bruce. Oh boy, I mean, it's been incredible to hear some of the positive comments coming out since it was released on Amazon a couple of months ago. So now, really heartfelt thank you, Bruce, for taking the time to watch it and download it. Of course, all money you buy, apart from Amazon's cut when you either rent it or purchase it, goes to the charity too. So that's something to bear in mind when we're spreading the word. But the whole premise of the film came about when my old friend Will Nangle, who I know from snowboarding at Hill End as a kid, he's become a very prolific filmer around the world. And then when he heard about when I sort of came out with my diagnosis and the fact I wanted to do something positive with it, and the first thing I did with it was my fundraising. I was doing the North Coast 500 a couple of years ago, and he said, Davy, I'd love to come along and make a film documenting your cycle ride, which is a 4-day cycle ride doing 500 miles. And, we raised, about 160 grand for Doddie and the charity. And he followed us on our 4-day journey. But the more he spoke to us, the more he spoke to me, my family, and understood some of the landscape and the story around my family's story, and how everyone is living with my diagnosis. It became the story. It transcended from just that 4-day cycle ride into something a lot bigger. And he's handled it really sensitively, but with a filmmaker's eye. He's used to filming mountain climbers in Nepal or mountain bikers in the Rockies. This guy is like a proper hardcore guy, but he's a very talented filmer, and he's directed this film beautifully. And something that's very difficult for me to watch. These conversations the interviews with my mum, my wife, my twin brother, these aren't conversations I have on a regular basis, if I'm honest, because you have to look down the barrel of the gun. But in doing the film, we've raised hopefully raising more awareness and money for MMD, and something brilliant as well. We had Mark was involved talking about the Mark Beaumont was involved talking about how bloody difficult cycling the North Coast 500 is, it's tough. And then Jill was involved too. And then there's just this amazing interview with Doddie, and Will went down. It was during lockdown too, but he went down and interviewed Doddie at the farm, and he's just bright as a button, and just laughing away. And the interview's great. So it's been really well received, the film, and hopefully we can because it's available in America now and in Europe too. So hopefully it will get more and more traction, more and more views.
Yeah, it's amazing. I downloaded it. I watched it. I was saying to you before we came on, my mum then watched it the following day, and it was a brilliant thing, because it then sparked the conversation between us about MND, about you, about other people that were involved, and it was really inspiring to see you and that group of people who followed you around, not just the people on the bike, but the people who supported you, and it was pretty spectacular. You mentioned the big man there. He obviously played or has played a part in your MND journey. Just give us a little insight into the impact that Doddie's had on you.
I mean, the big man Doddie, he's been. Oh, sorry. I mean, he was such a support and friend to me ever since I got the diagnosis. He, as soon as I moved back to Scotland from living in London for 10 years, I lie. Before I moved back to Scotland, I did the Doddie Weir cycle in Melrose. And it was just before I moved back home. And at this point, I'd been living with MMD for 4 months, or since my diagnosis. And I was there's a queue of people to see Doddie at the cycle ride. And I waited my turn in the pissing rain. And I said, Doddie, my name is Davy, and I've just been diagnosed with MMD. And he gave me this incredible bear hug, sort of knocked the puff out of me. And he said, Davy, you need to get in touch with me, send me an email. So I got his details, and I emailed him the next day. And it was a very difficult time for me, sort of trying to understand what the hell this thing was, how it's going to manifest within me. But and all these doctors who I see, but they were specialists for one thing but not another, and I felt I was getting passed around. But Doddie got instantly back in touch with me and said, come see me at the farm. These are the people I see. This has helped me. This is what I'd recommend you do over the next wee while. And it was the most empowering thing anyone had done for me. More, it was more, had more impact. It was better. It was a better not service. It was more. There was just that human element, because he lived this through the same experience, and from that day, we became very close friends, sort of battling our own disease. And then over the years, he was so kind in the chiropractor he saw in Gala, the sports physio he saw around the corner from him. Come pop in, see me on the farm. Let's talk about X and Y. And then and he was just he's helped me along so much. And I'd be in a worse place mentally and physically had it not been for him, his support and his energy. And I know I'm just one person in the world he's changed, the landscape he's changed for people with MND, and we've got so much to thank him for. And it's been so, we've been all very emotional the last, it's only a month and a half, really, isn't it? Since we heard the news. But obviously he's left just such an incredible legacy for us to follow, which we need to grip with both hands.
Yeah, agree. And this is part of it. Doddie Aid is part of it, isn't it? Because we're now doing it with such a smile and in such a great memory and with this legacy. And I think we've almost doubled down our efforts, and people are getting right into it. How are you managing to rack up any sort of distances? Are you on the bike? Are you out for a walk? How are you racking up the miles?
How am I racking up the miles? Well, it's actually, usually I cycle so regularly anyway. I'm out doing miles every week, so I've been using my bike, of course. But I gave my bike a bit of I gave it a service. So I've been tinkering with it a bit. So I've actually, Brucey, for the first time in a long time, I've dusted off the running shoes. I'm inspired by Happiness is Egg Shaped, and I've been pounding the pavements.
Yeah, I bet you're not pounding them as hard as I am, big fella. I feel sorry for the pavements that I'm running on. Jeez. So, Davy, other people have been out and about. We've got some great prize winners in here. The prize winners, recommended by some of the management of the districts. The winners get a 12-pack of Genius, and a Genius t-shirt, and it's a mixture. So it's the IPA and it's the lager, so they get a 12-pack of that. We've got some absolute crackers now. The first one from North and Mids. This is an impressive lady. She's also quite powerful, Davy. I think this is quite a powerful lady, so we need to be nice here. This is Erica. Look at Erica. How fabulous is she? She works for the Press and Journal, Davy.
Oh my god, okay, right. I'm being on the best lady now.
Yeah, be careful because this could end up in print, but it's also her birthday today. So she did a birthday duke. She did a birthday. Imagine doing that up north. That must be near Aberdeen. We're talking seriously cold. So well done, Erica. She's been out. She's racking up some miles. She's been a great support, and hopefully the P&J can celebrate your victory. I would sing, but I don't want people to turn off, so we're not going to sing. But Erica, I hope you have a fantastic birthday and that you've enjoyed getting a little mention. Now the next one. This is something else. This has taken Doddie to almost all four corners of the world. Well, not really. But the South representative started in Kenya, was then in France in Charles de Gaulle Airport and couldn't go out for a walk, so just walked up and down the airport, and then was in Elgin and landed back in God's country and been in Tweedbank and Gala. This is Anne Noble. So this is Kenya. I think that's January 1st. I think we've got some more pictures of Anna. Can we flick through the pic? There we go. Now this one, Davy, this was today. So Anna's bored of going out in the dark, so she went straight out after work. Now, if anybody's able to zoom in, I think I know what Anna's motivation is for her walk. 3 miles took her 37 minutes, but if you look on there, Annie's calf, Davy, anybody from Gala knows about Annie's calf. So she's walked past Annie's calf, then she's walked past McDonald's, and then she's walked past the Lee Garden takeaway restaurant. Anna, I reckon you could have done that a lot quicker if you hadn't stopped for a bacon roll at Annie's, for a wee Happy Meal at McDonald's, and a chicken fried rice at the Lee Garden. So well done, Anna. From Kenya to Elgin to Gala. That is quite the world tour. Wales. Now, Davy, you've our winner from Wales is Mark Williams. Now, Mark, you are buff. You wear that well. Now, I don't think Mark Norton, well, none of the winners know, but Mark is also on an MND journey. He's a battler. He's trying to raise awareness for MND. He's got his own journey to go on. So he's an integral part of this MND community. Mark, congratulations. The Genius and the t-shirt is on its way to you. Keep going, my man. And it might be that Davy can hook up and give you a bit of chat. Davy, it's pretty inspiring seeing Mark there, isn't it?
Sorry, Bruce. I've just dropped out with some technical issues.
That's all right. I'm boring myself as well. Don't worry. So after Mark, we've also got Alistair. Now, Alistair is someone I know well. He's the Edinburgh winner. Watch this, Davy. This is taking commitment to the cause really, really far.
Hi everyone. That's the first run of Doddie 2023 done here at the fabulous Spitfire Memorial in Grangemouth. Now, I'm going to try and do some updates every now and then just to let people know how the progress is going. But a lot of people tonight, or today I should say, have been going out and doing a Doddie dunk, where they're going out into the beaches and going into the cold freezing water at this time of year. So we don't have a beach here at Grangemouth, so I found myself a puddle, and just in the spirit of Doddie Aid, I'm going to take a nice wee sit down in the puddle just to kill off. Cheers guys, have a good one and donate.
Take a bow, son. Absolutely genius.
You gotta love that. Now I know Alistair.
That is Team Edinburgh through and through. Intuitive, hardcore. Bravo.
Just class. Get yourself into a puddle. There's no beach in Grangemouth. Go figure. So he dips himself in a puddle. I do like that he called it a dunk as well. It's a Doddie Duke, man. Come on, Alistair. But yeah, class, Alistair, for the cause. You deserve your 12 Genius in your T-shirt,
Absolutely.
my man. I'm looking forward to seeing you using that. Joe Burton's getting a get. Look at all the giggles coming in here.
Amazing.
Alistair, you've made yourself a very popular man and put Grangemouth on the map. Our next winners for the Barbarians, this is Cameron Pay. So Cameron picked up a calf strain in week 1. So rather than feeling sorry for himself, he's decided he's going to do this 2-minute ice bath every morning, and then he's going to get some miles in on the bike because he can't run. And he's inspired by Doddie, Rob, and King Kev. Look at that. That's a toss-up between the puddle and the ice bath. Well done, Cameron. That is pretty impressive.
Again, hardcore. It's amazing to see what people will go through for the Doddie Aid cause. So well done and thank you.
I don't know if you tuned in last week, Davy, but we had this thing about being daft but safe. Was it crazy but safe? Jill's getting worried that people are going to take these things to the extreme and do something silly. So dunking in a puddle and the ice baths, well played. That is commitment. Crazy but safe. And then Glasgow, we've got an amazing. Look at this picture. Look at that. Windswept and interesting. This is Muriel McEwen. She's always out and always clocking up the miles, and she's sharing her pictures to try and inspire. Muriel, I'm guessing you don't live in the middle of the Weege. You are out and about. Look at that. Isn't Scotland an amazing place, Davy?
It's just, look, is that must be Loch Lomond or somewhere about it. It's absolutely stunning, and it's right on our doorstep. I remember, Bruce, when Doddie Aid started, we were in lockdowns. We had to do everything so localized. But the fact, we live in Glasgow, live in the borders, live in Edinburgh. Borders you got on your doorstep, but an hour from the city, we can be in these scenes. So it's amazing to think people are getting inspired, getting active, and enjoying the amazing landscapes we have on our doorstep.
It just feels good being out, doesn't it? Especially at this time of year. We could be anywhere inside watching the TV, but we're getting out and getting people active. It's amazing. Davy, it's been brilliant to see you. Now that we've got some decent Wi-Fi, it's time for some inspiration, my man. Get people to sign up. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. Everyone, listen up. We are 11 days into Doddie Aid, but we've got 1 full month, 4 calendar weeks still to go. The Doddie Aid finishes. It comes to a close on the Doddie World Cup, Scotland versus Wales, which is set to be an absolute stormer. So there's still so much time to sign up. MMD is an incurable neurological condition. There is no cure, no meaningful treatments. Living with the condition, you can feel helpless and lost about what to do. But something we can all do to help is get on your phones, download Doddie Aid app on Apple or Android. It literally take you 30 seconds, 1 minute to download. With a £20 donation, you'll get yourself a snood, a beautiful snood which you can wear all year round and represent your district team. Join Team Era. It's the best team in the business, captained this year by Chris Hoy and amongst the other amazing personalities and characters. So do your thing, get active, have fun, and join an incredible community which all want one thing, and that is to free the world of MMD.
Top man. Davy, I've got something to tell you. I've got a wee surprise before you go. Right? Ooh. Get this. We are 11 days into Doddie Aid, and today we have just gone through £1 million.
Way! Amazing news! Amazing news! Oh, incredible.
Do you know what? The hairs in the back of my neck have just stood up. How cool is that? We're 11 days in and we've just smashed $1 million.
Incredible. We've been flirting around the last couple of years, and the fact we're less than 2 weeks in hitting £1 million. Thank you to everyone who's involved behind the scenes or download the app or donating, running the miles, because every run or pedal stroke you do counts towards the cause. Incredible. How big can we go? 11 days in £1 million?
it's scary, frightening, isn't it? That 11 days in, and we've still got some big ass things to come.
Yeah.
You know, we're not even touching the sides yet. We've got the auction,
Absolutely.
we've got the regatta, we've got the running, we've got the Doddie Cup, we've got all sorts.
Incredible. No, it's oh boy, I mean it's I mean 2023, what a year. 11 days in, £1 million up. I mean it's just incredible, you know. I've got, obviously, I'm so involved in the Doddie Aid community, but you know, someone living with the condition, I mean, this could be the next breakthrough. The funding and what the charity are going to funnel this into is so meaningful. So no, a big thank you to everyone involved. I mean, it's breathtaking. £1 million.
Yeah, right. We got to keep going now. It's not time to take a rest. Davy, go and enjoy your tea. Great to see you, my man, and hopefully we'll see you in person very soon.
Can't wait, Bruce. Thanks so much for having me.
Love you.
Love you too.
Love that. What a guy. If you're keen and willing to add to that total, then we've got Just Given for this show. For the live shows, you're able to donate. It goes straight into the pot, straight into the Doddie Aid pot. If you would like, that will be in the comments. You're able to click that. If it's £1, if it's a tenner, I don't know what else you would be doing on a Wednesday night, but stick it in there if you can. That is a phenomenal achievement. 11 days in, £1 million. Well played to every single one of you, and there's still a chance for that to grow, so please keep it going. I have absolutely loved that. We've got the great support of so many people, and we've got the good guys at Genius who are helping us out, and they've put together this commercial. Now, I've always wanted to say this next thing that I'm going to say, but first I've got a little challenge for you. So within this video, this is some of the stuff that Genius have done over the last few years to support the foundation. Little pop quiz. I don't know the answer, so anybody could get this right. Please count how many Scotland internationals feature in this clip. It's about 30 seconds long, so keep your eyes peeled. And I want to see in the comments how many and who do you see. You can use Doddie Aid 15 to get a 15% discount from the good guys at Genius. So fill your boots, go for it. It's good stuff, I promise you. So now, this is the bit I've always wanted to say. Here's a word from our sponsors. That wasn't easy. I'll tell you what, let's play it again and count how many times I feature in it. Between me and Brian Redpath, I think we're in it more than Doddie. Thank you very much to Jason and Charlie for their support there. Wee cheesy smiles were in there as well. Thank you, gentlemen. Absolutely class. Davy Bryson, good lad. Team Edinburgh, though. Are you kidding me on, Davy? I mean, I'm not sure I'm having that. I'm glad your daughter signed up and all, but Team Edinburgh, I think you need to have a word, my friend. I think you need to have a word. So good to have our good friends at Genius involved. Now, who else have we got involved? Who else could we hear from? I hope you got to see Scotty Quinnell going down that zip line. That looked absolutely bonkers. Jill Douglas, I think, was having kittens through that. Let's hear from the big man, Scott Quinnell.
Hi everyone, Scott Quinnell here, captain of Team Wales. Hope everybody's Doddie Aid is going well so far and you're getting all those miles in, especially to Doddie Aid Wales. Hopefully you're racking up those miles. There's still plenty of time to go because it's not too late to sign up now. You can sign up, go to doddieaid.com or go to Doddie Aid app, download the app. Make sure you press Team Wales, get those miles up and sign up today. There's still 5 weeks to go. See you then. Ta-da, Team Wales.
You got to love that guy. You forget how big a destroyer he was on the rugby field when he carries on like that. He's like a kids' TV character. Love Scott Quinnell. Loved speaking to him, and hopefully we'll get to see him at the Doddie Cup at Murrayfield at the end of all this in about a month's time. There's lots of events coming up, and we'd love to get you involved in them. The first one is the Doddcast live show with Big Jim and Jill and a whole load of special guests. That man Wainwright will be there. I think we need to give him a big round of applause, pat on the back and handshake when we see him, because the time and effort and energy that Rob Wainwright puts into Doddie Aid is absolutely off the chart, with his very good friend Ian pushing him along. Who knows what their chats on call are like, but I'd love to be a fly on the wall. I don't want to be there in person because I'm pretty sure it would end up messy. But so good. That Doddcast live event, tickets are there. Get involved. It will be an absolute riot. We also have the Doddie Aid Regatta. Ooh, look at us with a regatta. How cool does the Britannia look? It has never looked better than with the Doddie tartan. So get involved. You can sign up. You can get teams of 8 and do it on one of those fancy rowing machines that I should know the name of, but I don't. Or you can get there to watch what's going on. So the tickets, the link will be in the comments, and you can go along and you can get involved and see who's going to be there. I am told that there are some big names going to be there. That will be very cool. Now, back in the olden days when I was a lad, I used to work on the Royal Yacht Britannia when I was a student. So maybe I could go and be a special tour guide and show you around. Wouldn't that be lovely? And then we also have the Doddie Aid prize draw. Some of the items in the auction, and I have got no doubt this is going to grow. There is the prize draw auction, and it just looks amazing. And there's also one of the very special Scotland pink shirts, or purple, with the Doddie tartan number 5 on the back in the auction. I'm confident that's going to add a whole load of pennies to that 1 million pot that we've got. So you can get involved in the Doddie Aid prize draw and auction. You can see all of that on the Doddie Aid and Foundation channels, and it'll also be in the comments of all these things that are going on. So please get involved if you can. Now, we've heard from Scotty Quinnell, we've heard from Davy, we've seen our prize winners. There's so much to motivate you and inspire you around this. But this next video is 3.5 minutes of pure gold. Please sit up and pay attention. When it's shared on social media, please share it far and wide so that we can educate people as much as possible. Remember, it's not incurable, it's just underfunded. That's where we come in. But the cure is these guys. Let's hear from the brains.
Official diagnosis was December 2016. Prior to that, we went through probably 6 to 8 months of tests. So from day one, when we got diagnosed, I thought, right, the problem is MD. There's not a lot out there to help people with MD, so I'll go and try and find a solution.
Motor neurone disease is a devastating diagnosis to receive. Typically, somebody will die within 2 to 3 years of having their first symptoms.
We know that MND arises in different people for different reasons, so it's not one disease in the sense it has one cause. So we're dealing with a complexity at every level, including the kind of treatment we need is going to be complex too.
We will leave no stone unturned to find out what the best research is that's going to make the biggest difference in the quickest time for patients. That's so important to us.
Perhaps the greatest impact of Doddie and his foundation is the sense of controlled urgency and the idea of adopting new and radical and sometimes disruptive ways to getting the job done.
Breaking down MND into its subtypes is enabling us to target therapies specifically, and some of the genetic therapy trials that have happened recently, we haven't got the final results yet, but the phase 2 results look really, really encouraging.
We now understand something about the genetics of the disease, why people get it. We understand some of the pathways that are involved, and actually this is now converging into some really solid information which allows you to take drugs and target the right pathways.
We're now at a tipping point where we can bring together all these new exciting potential medicines and new ways of doing trials.
Research is extremely expensive. So having the support of a foundation like the My Name's Doddie Foundation is crucial, because it means that we have the money and therefore the flexibility and the speed to really respond to new scientific challenges and to getting staff when we want to do a clinical trial very rapidly.
We may not develop an overnight cure, but I think step by step we will be able to slow down the progression of the disease and give patients a much greater quality of life and life expectancy.
MND is not incurable, it's just underfunded. So if we can put the right funding with the right people, and we know who those people are, and we know that they've got pipeline projects coming through, if we can invest in those, we can make a real difference.
I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you for your support and generosity. It's been amazing. It's allowed the foundation to fund major trials, and not only that, allowed us to fund people with MND who need our help. We need to keep going till we find a cure and get rid of MND, but to date, thank you. Take care, love to all.
Yeah, not often speechless, but almost. Good to see the big fella, and he's saying thank you. There was lots in that. I love that phrase, controlled urgency. There's controlled urgency. Trust me, it'll be bloody frantic for those that are living with it. What can we do? Well, we got to put money into the pockets of those people that we've just been hearing from. You heard Jill Douglas. She's an inspirational lady. Let's get behind her. We heard things like we have to go step by step, but then we heard that phrase, we are at a tipping point. Medicines, trials, it's expensive. That's where we come in. And that £1 million that we've got on the 11th is pretty damn good, but we've got a heap of time to go. So if you can, do a wee bit more, whether it's a share or a like, or go out and run. It doesn't maybe have to be more money, but if you could sign up one more person, that's a few more pennies in the pot to make it happen. That video was put together by one of Doddie's old teammates called Stuart Campbell at Tiger Shark. He's done some amazing things, some fabulous videos, and it's another sign of that team, those people that matter, that MND community coming together to make things happen. Thank you, Big Stu, one of life's good guys, and he wants to help as much as he can. So what does he do? He gives us his expertise. So thank you, Stu at Tiger Shark. That is amazing. The Just Giving for this show, remember, you can do that if you've enjoyed it. If that video maybe stirred something in you, then a couple of quid wouldn't go amiss in there, and it all goes into that pot. Thank you. Now, one of the great things about doing this, but with life opening back up, is that we can pre-record. It doesn't have to be live. So this is where I'm going to sit back and watch and hopefully enjoy. I got the chance to speak to a pretty spectacular lady, somebody who has been a great supporter of Doddie and his family, first and foremost, but also of the foundation. She's fully involved. We reckon this is team 3 out of 3 Doddie Aid. So look out. There could be a sign-in window open up to recruit her for next year, but I'm going to hold on with 2 hands for dear life to this lady for Team South. She's a spectacular person, and I hope you enjoy hearing from the wonderful Lee McKenzie. Absolutely delighted. Happy New Year. How are you?
Very happy New Year to you. I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. I'm excited by all this nonsense we've got going on, and you've got yourself roped in again.
I think this is maybe, and it sounds very disloyal, but I'm a fickle person. I think I'm actually onto my 3rd district. I've just not been happy with the behaviour of the last 2. I decided this year that I'm going to represent the South, because I'm actually on the cusp in Ayrshire. And I think when people associate the South, they always think of the borders. Yeah. So my idea was to join the South, because between Christmas and New Year, I was down in Dumfries and Galloway. And I thought, it can't just be restricted to the East. We need to welcome the West and bring in a whole new group of people. So as I was driving past Stewartry Rugby Club between Christmas and New Year, I thought, no, this is the right decision. So here I am representing the South. I don't know
I
what I'll
love
do
it.
next year. I went to
I lo-
university in Edinburgh, so I might join them for
No,
my
don't
debut
do
in
that.
Edinburgh.
Don't do that. Stay with the south, please. I loved it on the WhatsApp group because you got quite defensive about how far south you are.
Yeah, you've got to prove a point. Although saying that, when I have gone to things round about Christmas and New Year and the Duke and things, that was all in the Glasgow area. So I had to go into the WhatsApp group and say, could you send these videos to Glasgow? So I felt a bit, I don't know what's happening. I just think we should encourage as many people to join. Really, we can have fun with it, but as long as people sign up, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, 100%. But we're delighted that you're Team South. You're just a snood collector. You're one of those
I am
people.
a snood collector.
And you were past Stewartry Rugby Club. I love that place. There's so many good folk getting involved. Moffat are going bonkers for Doddie Aid. They're doing heaps. And you were there on the beach on January the 1st.
I was, yeah, just outside Largs at Ardneel Bay. Friends of my brothers, in actual fact, the Jacks had arranged a Doddie Duke. They'd gone in. I mean, they live literally on a beach, so they do go in, and they weren't really sure what to do. A family friend has motor neuron disease. So they decided to try and make it a little bit more formal this year, invite as many people as they can. And they really didn't know what to expect. They thought if they raised a couple of £100, they would have done well. Fast forward to sort of later on the 1st, they realised they'd made over £4,000. 50 people in the water, and it was a bracing day. You normally can see over to Arran and things, but you couldn't really see anything. And it was just a really lovely kind of life-affirming event, started by, Ailey, who's, in her 20s, her mum Frances, and what was just a really small, fun thing became a pretty big deal in the end. And it was just lovely to see it all.
Yeah, I've just written that down. A life-affirming event. That's what a lot of these things are, aren't they? I mean, we're doing it now in memory of Doddie, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But these things are now, especially previous Doddie Aids, it's been difficult to come together. We're now able to come together, and it makes such a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well that when you get involved in something, you don't really know what it's going to be. I mean, I spend, as many days as I can walking on beaches or going out for walks. Going on a beach on the 1st of January shouldn't really be any different. And then you're with a whole load of people that you don't know, all there for the same good cause. Everyone's a little unsure what they're getting involved in. Not everyone went in the water, but it didn't really matter. Some of us walked around with buckets and things like that. Not everyone is able to go into the water for various reasons, but just the fact that they still took the time to go down on the beach and be part of something, I think is really important. And as I say, it's emotional when you're there. You don't necessarily know how to react, and it was an emotional event.
Yeah, it looked cool, and there's been lots of coverage of it, and there's been lots of coverage of various events, and there's more coming up. Now, people probably don't know, unless they've maybe listened into this last year, you're a really close family friend. You've known the Weirs for a long, long time.
Yeah, I have, and I was trying to think when it first was. I mean, actually, the day that we found out that Doddie had died, I've been going back through lots of photos anyway, and I found some really dreadful fashion sense photos. We're talking like reflective shell suit tops and all the things. And this wasn't just a few years ago. I used to go and stay at the Weirs when Doddie was certainly playing for Scotland. It was the time when all the family were still living in the house, because they were all not adults, not quite kids. I think Tom was captaining his age group for Scotland, and Kirsty was at home, and it was a great fun sort of time. I used to get involved in all sorts. Most things I had no ability to do. I drove a tractor into the side of the house once. That wasn't a great day, but it was great fun, and you just became part of the family. You absolutely did, and all of them were just wonderful, wonderful people. And I look back on those days so fondly.
Yeah. Kirsty tells me that you had a bit of a crush on her big brother.
Which one?
On
well, we were just such a great, lovely,
well avoided,
welcoming,
well avoided.
I think he was not a lot older than me, but just a lovely, welcoming person, and also just a lovely, welcoming family. All of them, just to any time to spend down there was just like, it was really precious. And I think I appreciated that at the time. It's not often you appreciate that at the time, but I think I always did. I look forward to staying with the family so much. And I would actually go and stay when Doddie wasn't there or when Kirsty wasn't there. I loved hanging out with Nanny, and it was just a wonderful family.
Yeah, great people. And then obviously we got the news before Christmas that Doddie had passed away, and it hit lots of people in different ways. I think it's one of those moments where people are going to remember where they were and who told them and how they found out. For you, the memories of that period?
Well, it's mixed, really. I mean, yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I hadn't seen him or spoken to him for a while, but having spoken to a lot of people around, I suppose there's a sense of inevitability with something like that. To have seen him at Murrayfield, albeit on television and things, seemed like you can't say perfect timing or anything like that, because that sounds crass, but it seemed like, a transition maybe was kind of in place at that stage. But the bravery, I think, from all his boys and Kathy to be out there with him, it was just, that actually is probably the most emotional I was. It wasn't even on the day where you find out that someone has left us. It's actually, for me, that moment, seeing him there, I thought was incredibly, I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it. So that was really the moment for me, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty spectacular, and he was bloody determined to be there. And now we're into Doddie Aid, and this is our first Doddie Aid without the big man. But it seems like people have been galvanized, and there's huge amounts of positivity around it. There's all sorts of events. We've got videos from Lewis Capaldi and Ewan McGregor and all sorts of crazy things going on. How are you getting involved in Doddie Aid? Yeah,
I've been logging my miles every day. Yesterday was a dreadful day. It was so wet where I am, like you just couldn't even go over the front door. So I was like marching around my house thinking, I think maybe I'll just have to do double today. This is a lost cause. But I think that's the thing. And Jill made a good point in this program last week. You don't have to be putting in mile after mile after mile. Don't get me wrong. It's great if you can. But Jill said last week, if all you do on one certain day, if you're not feeling great, whatever, if you go and put the washing out and come back in, still log it. It doesn't actually matter. And I think it's a really important thing to say, when we're doing all these challenges or encouraging people to go in the sea and log your miles. Just the fact that someone has signed up, they shouldn't feel that they're not doing a good job if they're not putting in mile after mile after mile. It's great they're here. It's great they've taken part. It's great they want to be part of this community. And for me, sometimes we can all get caught up in, how many miles did you do today? I did, a 10K. Oh, did you? And all this sort of thing. But actually just being part of it, and just, if all you can do because of how you're feeling or your age or just, where you are, the weather, just do something and be part of it. We're more grateful to have you with us. And you don't even, log half a mile. It doesn't matter. It's just great that everyone's joining up for this cause.
It's a pretty decent rallying call. I love it. Where are we going to see you in the next little while? You're all over the world keeping track of you on Instagram. It's like, oh, there she is. Oh, there she is. Where are you off to now?
Where am I off to? I've got a few things coming up this month. I'm doing some stuff with Lord Co. I'm doing, I've got weekend Cheltenham races, which is work, and then Six Nations kicks in. My first exciting flight is I'm popping, as one does, to Malaysia to do an hour talk. Not really sure how that is worked out, but yeah, I mean, I struggle to get from Ayr to Glasgow to do an hour talk, but I'm going to Kuala Lumpur to do an hour talk. So about Formula One. So that should be fun. So there's a few things that will keep me off the streets, which is good.
And you've got a book out too.
I've got a book out, yeah. It came out in October, Inside F1, which must have done well because it's now, they're bringing it out in paperback as well. And I've not been sued by any of the 7 drivers who I wrote about. So that's already a win situation. But, that's been interesting. So, but yeah, that's I've loved doing that. And as I say, it seems to have gone pretty well. So yeah, the book was a little sort of bucket list tick that I wanted to do.
I don't know how you find the time, but you do, and you smashed it. Lee, it's been amazing to have you with us. We've got other things going on the show tonight. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure, and keep logging 1 footstep, 3 footsteps, 3 miles.
I love that. 1 footstep, 3 footsteps, 3 miles. I love that. It's got to be a tagline. Thank you, Lee. All the very best. Speak to you soon.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, love that. So here's Lee McKenzie's calendar. So 11th of January, Bruce Aitchison, whatever it is, Lord Co, Cheltenham for work, then Malaysia. So I'm in there. Surely I've featured on that calendar. And we just brushed over Lord Co. But she did say it was always a pleasure. I think, did she mean me or did she mean this? I'm taking it as me. I'm taking the pleasure as me. Brilliant to have Lee McKenzie, great supporter, and she's in Team South. Do you need any more motivation to join Team South than come and be in the same team as Lee McKenzie? That is cool. Formula One, yes. Love it. And away to Malaysia for an hour. I could do that. Pretty sure. With that in mind, we've got more people involved and joining us. We've got more people adding. The Instagram's going crazy. I'm still trying to work it out. That's kind of one for the kids. Facebook's where I feel at home, and there's so much going on, as well as having people like Genius and the Cycle Jersey who are trying to churn out the snoods as much as possible. We also have the good people at Halbro. I'm wearing my Halbro t-shirt, but there's all the merchandise that you can get. The different colors represent the different teams. Most of those go towards the foundation. So if you're buying a hoodie or a t-shirt, be rest assured, be confident that that money is going to the foundation. It's adding to the pot to try and find the cure. So some great stash there. I've got my Halbro t-shirt on because I'm not sure if any of you ever noticed, but when I made it into Doddie's book, it said, this will be scanned and on a t-shirt before you know it. And Stuart Weir, as soon as I posted the picture of this t-shirt, Stuart Weir tells me, phone Doddie and said, you owe me 20 quid. So they put a wager on it, and I came through. How predictable am I? So good. Now, as well as Lee McKenzie and Davy Jiv and all those great people that are doing things, you have been out and about doing crazy stuff. This video could have lasted 3.5 hours. Sean has managed to squeeze it in to 2 minutes. Keep your eyes peeled because it could be you.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my loneliness. I guess that ignorance is bliss. Take me back to before the new. Rewind, take it out of cue. Innocence can be a young man's game. Stand up for the hall of shame. I wish I knew how much I miss. I know that we're all screwed. of the way. Sun is out, but the sky is gray. What would happen if I took a chance? It's always hard at first glance. I don't wanna, but I know I gotta do it. The truth is hard to swallow, I think I'll chew it.
I'm laughing. So good. Cats, horses, loads of dogs, people looking dreich miserable, but still out there doing it. Big smiles, ice cream, which is my favourite. People walking far, people cycling, people in their house, people. Class, you people are doing so much good, and it looks like the snoods are going all over the world. So if you see somebody wearing them, have a chat to them, get social, see what they're doing, be part of this MND community. We've heard from so many people, and the hits just keep coming. Who else would you like to hear from? Would it be somebody that was on the stage at Sports Personality Year? Would it be an Olympic gold medalist? Of course it is. Here's Eve Muirhead.
Hey, Eve Muirhead here. Thank you so much to everybody that has signed up for Doddie Aid so far. We are making lots and lots of money, but we still have time for more. And it'll be great if you've got any friends, get them to sign up. I've been out for my morning run, lovely Scottish weather, not. It's so great to see all the videos of everyone doing their exercise, so keep it up, guys. Well done.
Class, we love Eve Muirhead, but my worry is my wife's through there watching this on the TV, and she's now online ordering that Patagonia fleece that Eve Muirhead is wearing. So we're going to have to be careful about these things in future. Folks, how good has this been? I've loved it. I hope you're still there. I hope you're hanging in. It's now time to see the leaderboard. Now, I've not seen this because big handsome Sean, who's backstage pushing the buttons and pulling the strings, has been putting this together so that this is as up to date as possible. Now, as I'm building this up, he's probably still typing. There we go. Look at that. North and Mids still on top and over 8,000 members. Come on, Orkney. There must be a few more. Vicky McIntosh, just you pipe down. North and Mids are out in front. Almost 50,000 sessions and traveling really, really far. And over 166 grand. Well played, the North and Mids. Wales, I'm loving your effort. That is just spectacular. Almost at 2,500 members. The number of sessions is climbing. The money, you're getting behind your skippers. Brilliant. Come on, Glasgow. You need to get and catch Edinburgh, and Wales are after you. Barbarians are coming for us in the south. Come on, the south. We need to step this up. I would love to see us hit 8,000. I reckon North and Mids are going to get to 9. South have got to get to 8. Babas, can you come? Can you come and catch us? Can you get up to 8? Edinburgh, your challenge. Let's get to 7 by the weekend. Can we get that? Glasgow, let's get to 5 by the weekend. Wales, 3,000 by the weekend. That would put a whole load of more money in the pot from your 20 quid sign up to get your snood. Yeah, keep going. Morven's in there. Keep going, guys. You're doing fab. Come on, the Weege. Come on, the Weege. Right, folks. That's us. Almost hit the hour. Rob Wainwright said, can we keep them to half an hour, Bruce? I'll try, Rob. I'll try. I tried and I failed. I hope you've enjoyed it. What have you heard? You've heard from good people who are part of this MND community, who are trying to put some money into the foundation so that they can get to the right people to get the research, to find a cure for this thing, to delay this thing, to support families who are living with it, to support people who are living with it. This money goes to fantastic causes and it's helping people, and you're doing that with that little bit that you're getting. Can you sign somebody up when you go into work tomorrow? See the one that chews with their mouth open. Say to them that if they don't close it, something serious is going to happen, or they can sign up to Doddie Aid and maybe they could get the snood to cover it. Go and sign up your pal, go and sign up the pit. See with the people you meet dog walking. Go and show them your snood and say, if you're walking your dog, there's this brilliant thing called Doddie Aid. You could get involved. It's only 20 quid. You should do it. It's amazing, honestly. And every Wednesday night, we watch this handsome guy deliver this. Please, just sign people up. Teammates, rugby clubs. Let's see pictures from rugby clubs. Here's my challenge to you. We want lots of pictures of rugby clubs next week with all of you wearing your snoods, out at training, in the changing room, in the bar. We want to see rugby clubs with snoods on. I have loved being here. I love what we're doing. There's so many good things going on. We've heard from Davy. We've heard from Scott. We've heard from Lee. We've heard from Eve. They're all saying, please sign up. Get involved if you'd like. There it is. Stick a few pennies in. All of it is very, very welcome. My name is Bruce Aitchison. My happiness is egg-shaped. I'll see you all next week. Thank you so, so much. Keep going. We love you.